You want to know what I've never been satisfied with? What gym does Ian Garry belong? And Ian seems to be this hot topic right now, maybe for the right reasons, maybe the wrong. Maybe it's because Sean Strickland's been going after him and there's a book written on Amazon. But the bottom line is he's meaningful, he's interesting, he's young, he's handsome, he's successful, he's undefeated. There's a lot of boxes about Ian Garry that if you go through and check, it feels as though he's going to be around a while. So if I'm going to be discussing him, I would need to know some of the most basic things, such as what gym are you at? And there's part there that just conflict for me. Like, for example, I thought he was SBG in Ireland. And I thought that because of how proud he was of his Irish heritage and because of the homage that he paid to Conor McGregor. It turns out I was wrong. And I'm still not clear of, was I ever right? Like, did he originally start there? I don't know. Part of that story somewhere either got told to me wrong or I made assumptions, got it wrong in the first place. Find out he's out at Sanford MMA, which is just a who's who. And Sanford MMA is such an incredible who's who. To put in perspective, just at 170 pounds, it jumps off the top of my head, but you got Gilbert Burns, you got Ian Garry, you got Rachmanov, Kamaru Usman, Belal Muhammad, yeah, the 70-pound champ from Bellator Jackson. I mean, this is just at 170 pounds, just right there. And I'm stalling because I know that I've left a name off. But I've still succeeded in proving my point that this is a massively deep and... Luque, there you go. Massively deep and tough room. Just to emerge, just to be the guy within that room would make you one of the baddest dudes on the planet. There'd be cities and states and even nations you could go to where you could beat everybody, but not, that one room each day at 3, got 4 or 5 guys that you can't get over on. It's a really interesting situation. I like stories like that. Like, if I had any regrets of my time with Team Quest, I only have one, which is I wish I would have videoed it. I wish I would have documented it. And I had those ideas and I had those fantasies back then. Like, the world was a very different place. Now to have a video of something that doesn't impress any of you, because you all write on your cell phone, have the ability to make a video. Like, there's nothing to it. In the 90s and the early 2000s, when Team Quest was really at its height, that wasn't true. I believe, top of my head, but I believe the iPhone came out in 2008. So just to put this in perspective for you, I'm talking about a decade before that, having captured some very incredible things on Moment. Oh, we had Randy Couture and Evan Tanner and Dan Henderson and Matt Libben and Chris Lieben and Nate Quarry. And then we coming in from out of town, from Boss Rutan to Rico Rodriguez to BJ Penn, right? I mean, this is just off the top of my head. This was an absolute who's who, and I could have captured it and I could have had it. And it'd be something very special, and I think that you would like to see it. And I feel the same about Sanford MMA as it is right now. Like, it is such an incredible gym. And it's very rare that 2 teammates get asked to fight each other. The narrative has existed of you fight anybody, pick your opponents. I don't care if your teammates or not. Like, I know that you can find those dialogues out there where you actually had 2 guys. Not where they were booked, not where they were head to head, and then how did they handle it? Even backing up a step from that, where the matchmaker proposed the fight, not out to the media, to the 2 guys, called you, knowing your teammates, where it was even suggested. I mean, it's an extremely rare thing. So when Luque and Ian Garry got booked, that match has a real significance. In fact, it is the most significant match of Garry's career up until this point. And there is some question marks, and this is a bump that he has got to get around. And while Luque is higher, and has had more matches and more finishes and all these beautiful things, you do have Garry, who's younger, which is a positive in this sport, we're told. And he's also got a perfect record. which is a positive in any sport, we can all agree. So now you have the teammate versus teammate. Well, let's dig into this. These two made it clear from the beginning. They were very honest. And it turns out they were men of their word. They kept to it. They are going to give us no reason to watch this fight. But I mean, they told us this from the beginning. That this will not be fight promotion. It will be demotion. We don't want to fight. We're willing to fight. I mean, it was one of these things. They told us from the jump, and they told the truth. They have stunk it up to epic proportions in making anybody discuss their fight. They were men of their words. But we were going to be able to do it without them. We were going to be able to tell the story without them because the coach is going to have to stand in one corner. Or the coach can go to a neutral corner and sit this one out, which is what an ethical and honest coach would do. The coach had two athletes and they found each other. He would go sit in the stands with his mouth shut. But that's not what happened here. Great. What's his name and how did he make his decision? What is his story with you and his story with you? How did we come to this conclusion? Was there a coin flip? Was there a conversation had? Or was it well known by everybody, he goes this way and you go this way? Like, we'll make a story of it. Luke and Gary told us from the beginning they were not going to make it, but we don't need them to because we've got these pieces. Well, that was never told. We don't know. And what about practice times? Do you practice at the same time? Did you switch times in the gym? Because if you switched times in the gym, now you're talking about partners coming into this new made-up time, and you're talking about a coach that's going to come in to run the practice. Well, who are those partners that are now helping you to get ready to take on your own teammate? And who is the coach who's got this new practice time to come in and help you to get ready to take on the teammate? These things are very interesting. And they're going to be the only part of the story that we have. And we don't have them for us. We go out and we find these things to help to serve these guys. To make an interest so that people will tune in and care about their fight. Which is one of the hardest things in the world to get anybody to do. One of these guys has done that very quickly. One of these guys has never done that ever. So you got one of these spots where when you're digging in and asking these tough questions like I'm doing right now, but I'm doing it to serve them. We're going to get to the bottom of something. We're going to find out something compelling. But before we could get to that, we find out that Gary was not only at a different gym, he was at a different gym in a different country. So he didn't just stumble into it. He wasn't just in town for an autograph session and he went and found a workout. He made plans. There was logistics. There was expense for him to go here to train at this gym. Which would be contrary to what you would do if you were a member of a different gym. So I just like the drama. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the drama. If he's at the gym in England to get kicked out of in the first place, but he only went to the English gym because he left the Sanford gym because he didn't feel he could get what he needed to beat his very teammate, it doesn't seem logical that he could return to that gym. It would seem like even intrinsically, whatever it was that was there that made him think, I gotta go, this place has the answers. Intrinsically, that would stop him from coming back, but then moreover, would the door be open? Can you come back? Hey, you went over there. You didn't trust us. You didn't think we trusted you. You didn't have our best interest in mind. You thought we didn't have your best interest. Like, whatever that is, it feels like there would be a little bit of a push and pull. And Brendan Allen was speaking on it. Brendan stayed very neutral. I felt like Brendan stayed a real gentleman, but it turns out that Brendan Allen also trains at this gym. And he said that Gary's a very nice guy. But Brendan made the comment that there's some concessions that you're going to have to make and things you're going to have to put up with that not everybody is willing to, which is Gary films everything. Every practice, everywhere he goes, he's got somebody that is filming and documenting that. I can see where that would be intrusive. I can see where if you were one of the teammates where that would become a nuisance. But I will tell you, If I have any regret of my time with Team Quest, it's that I didn't film it. It's that I didn't document it. It's that I have all these incredible stories about what would happen if this guy versus this guy. And I saw it, and what little things I did film, what few cameras and takes I did have, I don't ever talk about because it was a training room and it's just not something you do, right? It's one of these real catch-22s. And as this fight approaches, I can't blame Luke or Gary. They told us from the beginning that they weren't going to promote this fight. It is not one that either of them asked for or even wanted. They've stuck to their word. Boy, I got to tell you, I can't call either one of them a liar. They told us they were going to stink it up, and boy, have they ever proven themselves to be true. But we could still help them. We could still grab it, and we could do something. And the starting point for the drama, the jumping off point, is the gym. And not only do I not have that answer, that was at the time, but now we're in between time. Where did Gary go when he was kicked out of the English gym? Did he return to Sanford? Was he welcome? I would just be curious on how that worked. That's it. I'm just curious. And if he didn't return there, and I don't believe he did, where did he go? I would also, on a personal note, be curious if any of you have the answer.